Hello there, right here. Today, guys, we will be showing you the fastest basalt generator, this little thing you see behind me, as well as two flying basalt generators, one of them being an AFK railway maker. We designed all these up during our Snapshot testing stream, which we do right when the new Snapshot comes out. Make sure you guys follow me on my social media, which are all linked below, so you guys don't miss out when we do those. In the last video, I gave you a sneak peek of these machines, but today I'm going to show you how amazingly awesome these things are. So make sure you guys share these with your favorite Minecrafters so they can build them up in their worlds whenever they update to 1.16. All three of these machines use the new mechanic that came out, which allows you to generate basalt with blue ice, soul soil, and lava. Basalt is a new block in the Nether update that normally can only be found in soul sand valleys, but you can also generate it by using a basalt generator like we have over here. It has some really cool textures and can be rotated like a log. And you can stick it into a stone cutter, and this will produce a polished basalt with a 1-to-1 ratio. Polished basalt also has a very unique looking texture, kind of like a petrified log. It looks really good for a lot of different types of builds. Guys, this is the fastest basalt generator for the player. You can see it's actually really small and very simple. All you have to do is be down in here, you'll be in survival. You press this button, aim forward, and just start holding down your main mining button. And you can see how insanely fast this thing is. The player will mine one block every game tick. They'll be mining 20 blocks per second. This is the fastest that the player can mine. The way we do this is we have haste 2 given to the player, as well as we have efficiency 5 pick. You can see how many uses are already used, even while having unbreaking 3. And we are just tearing through the basalt. All of it is being collected and put in these chests down below. You can see how much we mined up in such a short period of time. And this little tiny farm produces 72,000 basalt per hour, which is pretty darn insane. And the way it works is we got the blue ice on top, and then on the bottom we have the soul soil. And that way, when the lava flows in between these two, it will convert this into a basalt block. Then we have a on and off switch here. This just goes into both sides, which has a dispenser, which has a bucket of lava. This side here will turn on first, and then this one will turn on after 4 game ticks. And the reason why we do that is so that this side will come in and flow in first, and it will generate basalt here. And then this side will come in and start flowing. And by the time this side decides to create basalt over here, you're already mined it out again, allowing this side to come in and create it all over again. This is because lava will move one block every 10 game ticks. So all 5 sources here will move over here in half a second. Then you'll remove all that. And then another half second, it can come in and replace it again. But in the meantime, you can have this side come in and replace it with basalt. So by alternating the two sides, we can make it, so instead of having it generate basalt every 10 game ticks, we can make it do it every 5 game ticks. We can double the speed by doing this, but it is important that you start it up each time with the player ready to mine the basalt. This is because if I would turn it on and both of the lavas flow out and now they're both sitting there, as soon as I break one block, they're both going to have the equal attempts of coming into the center and converting this into basalt rather than being alternated. So now you can notice that the speed of it is actually going to be half the speed because I started them without mining. You can see the speed is actually slower. If I would turn it off, let all the lava be removed, then I turn it on while mining forward, you can see the speed is actually going to double. It has to do with the lava checking to see if it can occupy this space. As long as you keep mining, the lava will keep doing this alternating side to side thing. Now under the soul soil here, we have some minecarts shoved in there. The way you do that is actually put the minecarts in first and then push the soul soil in. We also have them pushed up against these cakes here. You can use any kind of partial blocks. Cakes are just pretty much the cheapest block to do this with. And that way the minecarts themselves are actually between 2 blocks. So they're between this hopper here as well as this hopper over here. And that way we could distribute the items that go into them between 2 hoppers, making it faster to unload them because one hopper is unable to keep up with the amount of items this thing produces. With both these hoppers piping items down into the chest, we can keep up with the rates of this farm. And by using cakes, they're also not a container because if you put a container above a hopper, it won't try to pick up any items. You can also use something like a honey block there, but they're kind of more expensive than I would say a cake is. Or you can use like an ender chest, but they're pretty expensive as well. That's really all there is to the farm. It's extremely small, yet it is the fastest that a player can mine up basalt. This is only possible because of the haste 2 plus efficiency 5, which makes it instant mineable, meaning that you can break one block every game tick. Now you can also come in with the new tools and use like the netherite pick to mine it up. And it is slightly faster than a diamond pickaxe, But the player can only mine blocks so fast, and when something is instant mine, there's really nothing faster than instant mine. Let's give this a try. Push that button, aim forward, and then hold down right click. And you can see how fast it is. It's still instant mine. You gotta be kind of careful not to aim too high, otherwise you'll easily mine out the ice up above. But by having another right tool, you have a lot more durability. Of course, you can put mending on this and have like a pigment XP farm here that constantly giving you XPs to repair it. I have unbreaking too, so it lasts longer. And I also give myself a regen because over time you will take hunger, which on hard difficulty can kill you if you don't have a regen beacon. We also put a block in here to prevent the lava from thinking that it can flow out this hole here. Otherwise, it won't go flowing the other direction, except it'll just all try to flow this way. I do have blocks on all sides of these minecarts, so they can't get like shoved out. So I have blocks here, as well as over here, all the way around this. Next up, guys, we would like to show you a flying basalt generator. This thing allows you to generate basalt while flying through the air, making a lovely walkway throughout any dimension. So you can even do this in another dimension like we are here. Because there is no water needed, all we need is some blue ice and some soul soil with the lava flowing over top of it. And both of these you can have in another dimension. So the machine is really small. It's just 3 by 3 by 4. The way that works is the player is going to be sitting here and he's going to be placing lava up against this stair here. This is very similar to a lot of the other flying cobblestone generators I've designed in the past. I must have designed at least 20 of those guys over the years. This is the method I use to transport the lava by having the player place it and then pick it up. So you're going to place it right here, and it's going to place it in front of the stair. Then the lava is going to flow down and create a basalt, which is going to update this observer, moving the flying machine forward one time. So right click right here. Then as we move forward, you can see the player is picking up the lava and placing it down again. It's actually really fast. It's pretty much as fast as the lava can flow. In another dimension, it can flow a lot faster, so you can actually generate basalt roads much faster than you can in the overworld. Let's go ahead and stop it. Just stop it by picking up the lava, and then the machine doesn't move forward because it does depend on updates. And you can see this nice basalt road that we made. Pretty cool. You can actually make roads in the nether. I'm actually here above the nether ceiling. And we have the player over here in a minecart on top of some honey blocks. We can't just have the player staying on honey blocks, because if you're playing like a multiplayer server, the player will kind of slowly get edged off until he falls off the flight machine. But by having him in a minecart, then the server keeps track of the minecart very well and will never let the minecart fall off the honey blocks. If you're doing single player, you can just stand here and it'll work just fine. And you can see that this observer, which is getting updated, so the basalt is formed right here, powers this piston here, which pushes this honey segment forward. Honey is hooked onto all these pieces over here, including this piston, which moves forward, gets updated by this observer, and will pull this slime block segment back towards the front. And this will carry the soul soil as well as the stair along with it. And because it doesn't use any water, it's a little easier to assemble this than a cobblestone flying generator. If you guys would like to see those flying cobble generators I designed in the past, they're pretty cool. You can find those videos linked below, along with all the other crazy flying machines that I've designed using cobblestone gens. So if you want to place down like a lot of blocks in another dimension, you can use a machine like this to do it automatically. And you wouldn't have to worry about running out of actual blocks because this thing generates more blocks as it goes. If you guys have any other cool uses for this machine, let me know down in the comments. But we went ahead and took this machine one step farther, and we made a flying railway making flying machine using the new basalt generators. This thing might look familiar because this is actually our cobblestone flying railway maker, and we converted it over to make it a basalt one, meaning that we can actually fly in the nether dimension. Like I said before, we don't need any water to do this. And if you'd like to see the original designs, like I said, they're down in the description. This thing is really sweet. You can see we got a minecart here where the player will ride on. We also got a rail duper here using this dead coral as well as this rail. That's how we get infinite supply of rails. We got the basalt generator, which is this blue ice next to the soul soil. And the lava is carried by the player and moved forward one block at a time. And there is an extra little segment on the back of here with these 2 redstone blocks, which will keep this infinitely powered. So as long as you have this very back piece over here powered, it will keep every single rail from there on always powered. You don't even have to worry about putting power sources down here. So let's go ahead and give this thing a go. We hop in here. This one works a little bit differently, as we have to make sure not to accidentally click on the soul soil, which is a little bit different than our old design. And you'll start out by having some power rails in your offhand and a lava bucket in your main hand. Of course, it'll be in survival. You want to aim right there, that little thin piece of the stair that is pointing this direction. That's where we want to aim. And just hold down right click. And what it's going to do is place lava over here in this block, and then it's going to flow over here to where we have the soil as well as the blue ice. It's going to create basalt there. Then your player is going to have an empty bucket, and he's going to allow him to use his offhand, which will place in the rail on top of the basalt. This will update this machine and moves everything forward. So you guys know what's going to go on. Go ahead and actually watch it occur. Lava, basalt, pretty fast. That's because lava flows very quickly here in another dimension. But yeah, this is an insanely fast way to make an automatic railway while also being AFK. So there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it all works out amazingly, which is pretty crazy for such a small machine. You can see the rail duper is working well. It's duping us rails. We're actually never running out of rails. We're moving the lava forward with the player. We're picking it up from one location, actually moving it to the next. I'm like so proud of this fly machine, and big thanks to everybody who joined us during our testing stream who helped out, especially Cheater Codes, who did a lot of work on this with me. You can see the final result is an entirely powered rail that is on the basalt block, and it has no levers or anything. You just gotta make sure not to update this. If you want to place anything up against this rail, put down a power source first before you update it. Otherwise, all these rails are currently butted, meaning that if you update them, they're gonna unpower. And the machine itself is very small. You can see it's just this small flying machine here. And you can almost use honey for all this too, depending if you want to use honey or slime. The main thing that we changed is we just have the soil down here, and then we introduce the blue ice into the rail duper. And we kind of changed this whole little section here, the way we place down the lava, as well as move it. We used to place it down onto this trapdoor, but because the soil is now in the way of where we are pointing with our bucket, we'd end up placing it here. So we changed from placing it onto this rail to placing it onto the side of this. It's actually one of the few blocks you can use to kind of aim from this direction and place it over here. So yeah, overall it works really good. We're pushing this whole segment forward by this piston here. Everything here is attached to that segment. Just kind of keeps the lava contained. It doesn't flow out all over the place. A very slick machine, and you guys can use this in the overworld or the end dimension, or even here in another dimension. So this one truly can be used in any dimension. If you do use the overworld, you need to make sure to have that solid block above the player at all time to prevent phantoms from spawning. If you have like a block like this, you can always prevent phantoms from spawning as long as it's a solid block so you don't get sky access. And guys, don't forget to go ahead and share this video with other Minecrafters, because all this stuff is coming out to the 1.16 version. And if you tell your favorite Minecrafters about this, they can use it in their very own worlds. Basalt overall is a very cool block. I love it how it's generated without it even needing the water. And make sure to leave a like on the video as well as subscribe so you guys don't miss out on more cool inventions for 1.16. Hope you guys enjoyed these 3 really cool basalt generators. And if you guys like to see more simple farms as well as machines like this for your survival world, I linked down in the description an entire playlist which you guys can binge watch and find similar things to these. And as always, if you would like to build these up in your very own world, I have provided the world download in the description. You can see block for block how to do it. And remember guys to join our streams, which we do every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. I would like to thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.